Hi. I told you I'd find you. Are you ready to go riding? You are. What are you wearing? No, I didn't mean that. You look very royal. But I'd like to ask you, if I may, have you ever been riding in those clothes? You have. Well, Your Highness, if you'll pardon me, you must have a lot more skill not getting dirty than I credited you with. Or did you just ride around the castle yard with an attendant leading your horse? I've hit it, have I? Well, what do you mean that's all we're going to do? Not at all. The very first thing we do after we get you on your horse, if that's even possible with you wearing all that, is we are leaving for the forest. Yes, it's not that close to the castle. Why would it be? Trees would give your enemies more cover as they approached. You have to keep the land clear for some space around so you can see them coming. No, that's true. There hasn't been a war around here in quite some time. A few 100 years, isn't it? That's why the drawbridges are never drawn up and the moat is filled in. Keeping the trees away is probably a good idea. I mean, if your family's going to bother to keep living in a castle, you ought to keep some of the defenses going. Otherwise, you might as well move to a nice house in the town and get rid of half the guards and just have a couple butlers and... You see? Not nearly as impressive. And part of keeping the castle impressive is keeping the land clear around it. Your Highness, why is it that you were concerned about our destination today? Yes, I have met Owen. He's who I asked to saddle the horses. Is it he who normally leads you around on your progression? He does. And he's really protective. And he won't let you off the grounds, or even let you take your horse to a trot? Let me ask you this then, Your Highness. The horse you normally ride, is it a child's pony? An old gelding? An Arabian? It sounds to me like your horse is probably capable of a lot more than Owen lets you do. Ah, he gets to take your horse out for the real exercise. Well, Your Highness, today we are going to relieve him of that duty. Have you ever been at a trot or faster? No? Well, let me put it this way. Can you keep your feet in the stirrups and hold on with your reins and legs if your horse starts quickly? Great. You leave the rest to me. Oh, trust me, you don't want to know what I mean. It's best if only one of us gets in trouble today, should it come to that. Let's go. All right. Now that Owen has you settled, you will have to show me out to where you normally ride, Your Highness. Out there, right next to the bridge? That's where we're going? Excellent. Please lead the way. Just direct your horse past mine here and... Head for the bridge. I'll be right there. No, don't turn around. I'll find you. All right, Your Highness. Slow down. Gently. And stop. Let me help you down. Oh! Right off like a ton of bricks. No, don't get up. Just sit and rest here. We'll let the horses rest too. Did you see Owen running after us? And the guard at the bridge shouting? Unfortunately, neither of them had a nice fast horse, so they weren't going to catch us. Yes. I think they'll probably be in a bit of a fuss when we get back. But I also think that if they see you return unharmed and having had the time of your life, It's possible we might just manage to argue our way into doing this more often. I mean, if it's my task to get you outside more, I don't really see how to do that in an effective way if we have to stay inside the keep all the time. I don't think that really counts as much. Yes, it is cold out here. The last bits of winter are still hanging on, but you can see that spring is starting to fight its way in. Look, a crocus. Aren't they pretty? They're always one of the first new plants I look for to know that winter won't last forever. Of course, I know that in my mind, obviously, it can't. But sometimes it sure does feel like it will. And then you see a nice purple or white or yellow crocus popping up, and you can't help but smile. Alright. Let's see what I have in my bag here. Of course I brought a snack. What kind of an adventure would it be without a snack? A hungry one, that's right. Here, catch. Some bread from the kitchen and a flask of some spirits, I don't know what. I found a barrel in one of the pantries and no one was around, so I didn't feel inclined to ask questions. It's mead. Nice. Have some. So, Your Highness, have you been out to the woods much? Do you know places in it? Or will this be an exploration for both of us? No, don't worry, we won't get lost. I'm sharp, I promise. Look, I made that letter in the snow. A. I haven't forgotten. So, if it's all right for me to ask, since we are supposed to be getting to be friends, you don't have any brothers or sisters, do you? Oh, your mother died too? You were going to have a little brother or sister, but... Oh, I'm sorry, Your Highness, that sounds so sad. To have lost both of them. You must be very lonely with just your father and him being so busy with running everything. I was lonely back home, but it wasn't the same kind of lonely. It's harder to be lonely when you're alone. Wait, I know that sounds weird. Let me finish. A lot of the time, my father was away for days, hunting or doing mercenary work, so it really was just me in the forest. But I didn't have to go amongst people all the time, seeing them having their own friends and family relationships and everything, and knowing that I couldn't have the same, but just had to watch everyone else having what I didn't. That sounds so difficult. I'm sorry. Please don't cry. Or rather, I should say go ahead and cry if you want to. There's two kinds of crying, you know. Yeah. One kind you have a good cry and you feel better after it. You release the bad feelings. But the other kind of crying just makes you feel worse and worse, and if it's that kind of crying, you should try to find a way to stop. Right. And take a deep breath. That's it. Do you need to blow your nose? You look as if you need a handkerchief. Oh, you have one? A silk one. Very nice. All right. Let's keep moving. We don't want to get too cold, so let's lead the horses for a bit and see what we can find out here before we head back. I think I hear a stream. We ought to at least take a look, don't you think? Very well then. Let's go.